you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a tutorial and a review or first impression really, because we're only using it one time, on the second collab between ColourPop and Makeupshayla. This is the Proceed with Caution round 2. I went ahead and bought the whole PR box kit, whatever you want to call it, and I want to use it all here today. Before we get into the actual review on the makeup in this collection, I just need to put out there that I had a terrible experience with the customer service for ColourPop, and I'm not super shocked about it because super shocked, get it, that's one of the formulas, but I'm not surprised, to be honest, because a few of you have mentioned in the comments on other ColourPop videos that I've done that you find their customer service to be really bad, and I was like, oh, I haven't really dealt with it much because I've just ordered and then got my stuff and I hadn't really ever had a negative experience. But this time was a bit different, and I'm not gonna go into the details of it and bore you guys. To make a long story short, I paid for 2-day shipping and they didn't ship it 2-day, and they did not make it easy for me to get a refund on that shipping. Eventually they did, because I don't know if you guys can tell this just from what I put up here on this channel, but I am a very assertive person and I don't take no for an answer when I feel like I'm being done wrong. So I really pursued it until they gave me a refund on it, because they flat out just didn't ship it 2-day and charged me for it, and I just wasn't having it. So yeah, I did wind up getting a refund from them eventually, but it took a really long time, like an 8 email chain. I do not want my bad customer service experience to reflect on the collection though, because that's not fair to Shayla, it's not her fault, and she has nothing to do with that. So the review of this collection will be completely separate and apart from that. And for the record, I think that ColourPop is an excellent company. I think that they make incredibly good products. Like, some of their formulas don't work for me, but that's every makeup company, you know? For the most part, I think their formulas are fantastic. They make really cool products for a really great price, and I really admire what they do. I would just suggest that if it is possible, if what you want is available at Ulta, maybe buy it from there, because I feel like the customer service is much better that way. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because I recommend a lot of ColourPop products, and I don't want you guys to have a frustrating experience based on my recommendation and me not having warned you that that does seem to be a common possibility. So I'm gonna do an eye look with this. I'm gonna use both of the blushes so that you guys can see what they look like, and I'm gonna do swatches on my mouth of both lip kits so that you guys can see what they both look like, and we can get through everything in this collection and give it like a nice little first impression. I know that you guys usually prefer when I do multiple looks with either a palette or a collection, and I really had every intention of doing that, but between the fact that it arrived really late from when I ordered it and I have other things that I have to start filming, and also I was super sick yesterday, like literally I didn't get out of bed the entire day, so those two things have put a little bit of a time crunch on the situation. So I'm just gonna do one look today, and we will be back to multiple looks videos very, very soon. Also, if I'm a little bit extra sweaty looking today, or a little bit dead, or maybe not as jovial as I normally am, that is why I am still recovering. Please bear with me. Before we get into it, please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second to do that, because if you don't, I'm gonna be really sad, and if you do, I'm gonna be very happy, and it's just better to make people happy in this world. Don't you want to spread joy? And if you're fairly new around here, maybe you've browsed 4, 3, 8 videos and you just haven't subscribed yet, well, let me tell you about why you should. First of all, because my chair makes fart noises and I still haven't fixed it, and that's extra quality content for you to consume for free. If that's not a good enough reason, I don't know what is. And also, you know, makeup, I do makeup, and it's usually a good time. Oh, and one note I want to make about the lip swatch portion of this video, because I forgot to mention it while I was doing the actual lip swatches, is that my lips are extremely chapped right now from being sick, and around the edges, the lip liners are not going to look as smooth as they normally would, because they're chapped as shit and there's like broken skin and stuff, and it's just not ideal. So try not to let that be a reflection of the lip liners, because lip liners, spoiler alert, I know I'm ruining the review, but the lip liners are actually really creamy, and it's not their fault, it's me. My face is jacked up right now. I think that's all we need to talk about before we get into the video. So let's get started doing an eye look with the Proceed with Caution palette. So like I said, I bought the whole set. So this is the Proceed with Caution box set. This is what the packaging looks like inside the box set. It's got the caution tape motif, which obviously goes along very much with the name of this collection, but it's also very on trend at the moment. This is like, this aesthetic is very, very big right now. I'm gonna start by going into the Proceed with Caution pressed powder palette, and I'm gonna do an eye look with that. This is the packaging of the actual palette outside of the unicarton, and this is what the palette looks like on the inside. So there are 9 shades inside. Essentially, they're mostly warm neutrals, but there is one very, very bright pop of color with the yellow. A lot of the looks I have been seeing have been using the yellow shade, which is called Caution, in the inner corner, and it looks so, so good. And I am so tempted to do that today, but because I've seen so many people do that already, I'm going to try to do something different with it. Just know, though, that I wanted to put it in my inner corner. I did. So far, looking at this, it looks really balanced, and I'm not surprised because Shayla knows how to do some makeup and she knows what we need in a palette, so I'm not surprised about that. But everything, it looks like there are enough mattes and enough neutrals in like the right tones for a good look, so I'm excited about that. I'm gonna start by going into the shade Culture, which is a mid-tone brown, on a BH number 5 brush and get some structure started for this look. And I'm gonna blend the edge of that with a clean blending brush. Next, on a Sigma E36 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Maintenance, which is kind of like a burgundy shade. I feel like on camera it's looking a little bit more brown and neutral. In person, this looks like a deep red that's like just leaning slightly neutral. And I'm going to bring that through the more direct crease area just to deepen that up a little bit further, start to get like a little bit of a blend going. I'm also going to pick up a Nabla small pencil brush and go back into the shade Maintenance, and I'm going to use that to pack that color on the outer and inner corner of the eye. I'm going to pick up that same Nabla small pencil brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Hazard in the center here. I'm picking up a good amount of that on the brush, but I'm also going to wet it with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus because I want it to be nice and intense. And I'm going to put that down right next to where I put Maintenance. And on that same brush again, I'm just cleaning it off on a color switch sponge in between shades. I'm going to go into the color Gloves On, which is the darkest shade in this palette, but it does have a little bit of shimmer to it. And I'm going to use that to just deepen up the corners a little bit because I think that'll look lovely. And I'm just picking up a little bit more of Hazard, and I'm going to tap that over where those two meet on a dry brush just to get a softer transition between the two. So for the center of my lid, I want to create a little bit of a spotlight effect, and I'm going to put that yellow shade in the spotlight effect in the center. So I'm picking up my Nabla cut crease brush, and I'm just going to go into a very light shade of concealer. This is the Born This Way Sculpting Concealer from Too Faced, and I'm just going to pack that in the center of the lid and bring it up a little bit above my crease. And with a Real Technique shading brush, I'm picking up the color Caution, and I'm going to pack that right over where I put that concealer down. And as I get to the top where I made that little halo shape, I'm going to take a smaller brush and just pack the yellow onto that so I don't get it all over the damn place. Now to blend this into the colors around it a little bit more softly, I'm dipping into the shade Culture on the same small brush. I'm going to tap over the edge of that yellow, mainly on the lid area because I do want the top to be a little bit more of a stark line. And once the transition from that yellow is a little bit softer, I'm going to go back into Hazard again on that same brush and just tap that over so I bring that back into the lid because at this point I feel like I lost most of it. I concealed underneath my eyes using the same concealer that I used to cut the crease. I also put down some powder, and I drew on some freckles, quite frankly, because I had to take a phone call while I was sitting here. And while I was on the phone call, I just started drawing little freckles on my nose using the Brunette Betty Brow Blade from Urban Decay, which has been my go-to freckle maker these days. So for the lower portion of the eyes, I'm going to start by making the lash line nice and dark and smoky. I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Dragon Smoke Pencil, which is from the Urban Decay Game of Thrones collection. I've done 2 videos with the Game of Thrones collection. Each has 3 looks, so if you want to see those videos and you haven't yet for some reason, I'll put them up on the screen here and here. This is not black, but it's like almost as dark as a black, but it has like a lot of different colors in the pencil. Like the shimmers are very multicolored. So what winds up happening is it kind of just goes with anything you put it with, which is fantastic. Big fan of that. I'm just gonna take a small clean brush and buff that in a little bit because I smudged it through my lower lashes and I wanna make sure it's a little bit more smooth before I go ahead and put some eyeshadow on top of it. I'm gonna go back into Culture again, this time on a pencil brush, and I'm gonna use that as like a base for what we smoke our lower lash line out into. So I'm putting that pretty low underneath the eye, and I'm sweeping that in little circular motions up to meet the top. That will start to look like it makes more sense once we put the other shade down. And I'm gonna go back into Gloves on that small pencil brush again, and I'm going to drag that underneath the lashes and link it around up into the top to give us a nice round outer corner. I'm sure you guys can tell just from watching me apply this stuff, but like these shadows are performing really, really nicely. I always wind up loving the pressed shadow formula from ColourPop. Usually the Super Shocks are a little hit or miss for me, and I don't really like their jelly eyeshadows. But the pressed shadows, they're just so easy to work with. And to finish off the eye look before I add lashes, I'm going to go into the shade Dead End, which is this shimmer gold shade up here. I'm gonna put it on a pencil brush and wet it with some Fix Plus. I'm gonna use that to highlight the inner corner because I feel like we could use just a little brightness in there. I'm gonna tap over the edges of that with a little bit of Gloves on because I don't want that to take over the depth that we created on the inner corner. I just want it to be like really, really concentrated right into the tear duct area. I'm gonna go finish the other eye, pop on some lashes and some mascara, and we will continue on with the rest of the stuff that is in this collection. We have some blushes and we have 2 lip kits. Okay, my eyes are done. I used the MAC Extended Play Per Me Up Lash Mascara and the House of Lashes Stella Luxe Lashes. Now I'm gonna try the blushes. I'm gonna swatch each of them and then decide which one we want to try wearing today. There are 2 pressed powder blushes in this collection, which I've never tried their pressed powder blush before, so I'm excited to try that. One is called Construct and the other one is called Whistle While You Work, with an E, work. So this one is called Construct. This looks almost like it would be more of like a contour shade on me, maybe a little bit too pink to be a contour for me, but that's kind of the range that it falls in. I'll do a quick arm swatch for you guys so you can see the color of it. I could probably get away with that as like a light bronzy blush as well. And this one is Whistle While You Work. This one is like a bright bubblegummy kind of a pink. This is more along the lines of something that I would use as a blush on the daily. Swatch of that next to the other one for you guys. Okay, I that swatch up. I'm gonna do it again. So that's what they look like next to each other. I am going to try Whistle While You Work on the majority of my cheeks. Okay, that's pretty so far. This is more of like a bright, like bubblegummy pink than I usually go for. I usually tend to reach for more of like a peachy pink, but I do feel like it looks pretty flattering with these eye shades, so I'm not mad at it right now. But the pigmentation is nice. It seems to blend well. Like it's not hard to blend it in. You know, sometimes you put on a blush and it's like too pigmented and right away it's like right there. You have to like work your life away to blend it in. This is just the right amount of pigmentation. It blends in just right. And just for the sake of trying everything in this collection, I'm gonna go into a little bit of Construct and just use it underneath that blush, like lower down closer to my contour to warm it up, almost like a bronzer. I really like the way those two blended together actually. Those are a really nice combo, I like that. I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I'm gonna use some of the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray as usual, you know, drown myself in that. I'm gonna jump off camera, add a little bit of highlight. I'm gonna scrub the dead skin off my lips so we give these lip kits a fair shot, and then we will swatch both lip kits and get to decide which one we think pairs best with this look today. There are 2 kits. One is called Speed Up and one is called Slow Down. And I won't be able to talk much while I put these on, so cue the montage. Okay, so that's all 5 products in this kit. After using them all, I think this is a great collab. These are all the things from ColourPop, like the formulas from ColourPop that appeal to me the most. So in my opinion, she chose very well as far as what she chose to put in this collection. I love the pressed shadows. I think that the shades in here appeal probably more to people who tend to gravitate toward more neutral looks. So if you love like out there colors every day, this might not be the collection for you. But if you are looking for neutrals with a little pop of color and a little something different, I think this collection is great. Much like the pressed shadows always do from ColourPop, these performed absolutely beautifully. I got very, very, very little fallout from any of the shades, even the really dark shimmery ones, which is very impressive because a lot of times dark shimmery shades like basically give me a shimmer mustache. We didn't get that today and I'm very happy about it. Everything blended very easily. The yellow is nice and vibrant. I have nothing negative to say whatsoever about the eyeshadow palette. Literally the only thing I can see is that if you like a lot of color, maybe it's not for you. The 2 under construction blushes I think are a beautiful formula. I've never tried the ColourPop pressed blush formula before and I'm very impressed with it. I can't recall if Shayla mentioned if you're supposed to use them in conjunction with one another. I do think that this would be a really pretty blush on a lot of people. For me though, I really like the way this kind of helped blend my blush into my contour. Would it be something that I would go out of my way to buy specifically for myself? Probably not, but since it came in the kit, I'm happy I had it and it worked really well. Whistle While You Work blended really well. It was the right amount of pigmentation for a blush. For me, this is a little bit more bubblegum pink than I would reach for on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, I usually tend toward more of like a peachy pink, but with certain looks, when you need a little bit of extra color in your face, this is going to be probably something that sits right in my blush drawer that I reach for because I do think it performed really well and it really woke me up today. And let's be honest, I was looking a little dead when I started this video. I looked like I was sick yesterday because I was, and this has helped me, so I appreciate that. As far as the lip kits are concerned, I love that they did a pretty stark contrast between the liner and the lip color because I love that 90s kind of a contoured look, and I found that both sets, the shades within them, really worked well together to give that to you. I just personally find that it gives you a lot of like shape to your lips when you do that. If you're not somebody who is into lining your lips with a darker shade and then blending them together, maybe, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't be into it, but personally I think that they are absolutely perfect together. And like I said earlier, as far as ColourPop liquid lipsticks are concerned, the satin ones are my absolute favorite. The matte ones from them I find to be a little bit too dry, so I'm really excited that she chose the satin formula because for me they sit much better on the lips and they're much more comfortable. And I want to be comfortable because I don't like to be uncomfortable, because who likes to be uncomfortable? Like, who does? Not me. No. Overall, I think this was a pretty great collection. Like I said, I had some small issues with the customer service. That is not a reflection on this collection though. I'm not sure if this is going to be available at Ulta, but if it is, I would buy it from there. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a quick second to do that, because it really helps me and I would super appreciate it. And also, if you are new here and you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you would. I would love it. It'd be great. To keep up with me between videos, I am at Miss Quinface on other social media, but mainly I hang out on Instagram. I post all sorts of other types of makeup over there. I post close-ups sometimes of the looks we did here on this channel. Lots of lip art and things of this nature. If you're into that, come find me over there. I also keep my stories updated pretty often, so if you want to know what's coming here on this channel or take part in polls, help us plan what videos we've got coming down the line, then that's the place to do that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize if my energy was not as up as usual today. It just be like that sometimes. I will go get some more rest so that that's not the case next time, and I will see you in the next one.